Good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar, First Year Parent Guardian Series, College to Career. I'm Kathleen Borgman, and I'm the director of the University Career Center, and I will be speaking with you today. Thank you for joining us. Many of the parents and guardians ask, really, when should students start preparing for their career? Times have really changed. Students in the past have been told, well, you're just a first-year student, you're a second-year student, you've got lots of time to worry about that. But the reality is, now is the time to start preparing and doing all the things that are necessary so that you're positioned to succeed down the road. Regular meetings with a career counselor are really strongly encouraged. You need to create a resume and update it regularly. It's important to try and maintain a 3.0 or higher. It's certainly not the end of the world if it's not a 3.0, but you really want to strive to do that. Take the different personality assessments, interest assessments, strengths to find out what you're best at, and get involved. Don't just focus on the studies. Live the best college life possible. Now, over the past year, some changes have been made to the structure of career at Fairfield, and I want you to be aware of who the key individuals are to focus with your child. The Dolan School of Business has Sarah Bollinger and John Hottinger, who are dedicated to working with those undergrads. And I strongly encourage Dolan students to take advantage of them. They're fabulous. In the College of Arts and Sciences, we have Steph Gallo and Kim Nikolenko. And once again, strongly encourage making an appointment and meeting with them and setting the path. And in the University Career Center, I work with the Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies, and Sue Quinlivan works with the engineering students. So you might give your student a little bit of a nudge and say that you know who they should be meeting with. We also have in the University Career Center, located in the Kelly Center, career peer advisors. And these are students who might be sophomore through senior year who've been trained to do resume development, cover letters, the basics, and they can work with other students, especially those who are nervous or hesitant to come and meet with someone initially. Each semester, the hours change based on the volunteers who are selected as career peer advisors, but I strongly recommend they come and meet with them as well. Are internships important? Yes, they are, absolutely. They're extremely important, more important than we were in school. Because employers, grad schools, they want to see that the students have been out there and taking advantage of the opportunities. They want to see that they have been doing the work that they allegedly want to be working in. This is also a great opportunity for students to figure out what they do like and what they don't like. So, somebody says, yes, I worked in an office and I've done all these different things, that's going to go a long way. Grad schools, they feel that's important as well. If it's a business grad program, they want to see what kind of experiences they've had. If it's the sciences, they want to see they've done research. It could be research in the labs here on campus, but take advantage of all the different types of opportunities that are available. Every experience has some kind of skills that the students can be honing and that will be transferable. The reality is that 80% of the opportunities out there are hidden. And it's important that students get out there and network. They take advantage of every opportunity available to them. only 20% of the opportunities, be it jobs, internships, are actually posted online or disseminated at the different search sites. So there are various ways in which a student can find an internship. Stags for Hire is Fairfield's online database. We work with Handshake, and we've literally got thousands and thousands of opportunities on there. Many are posted just to Fairfield, but there are also a large number that are posted across the country. So regardless of if you're living in Chicago during the summer or if you're in Bangor, Maine, there should be opportunities available. Networking is critical. Not only is it important to leverage maybe friends that are family acquaintances, maybe neighbors, roommates, parents, it's important that students get out there and get to know our alumni, attend different opportunities that are available to them so that they can broaden their network, go to different site visits. It's all part of the networking, and it's amazing how many people step up to the plate once they've started to develop a relationship with someone and say, you know, I've just recently learned of an opportunity. Let me put your name in. Or, oh, by the way, here's an opportunity. Why don't you apply to it? It's significant. The internet also is important. There are numerous job and internship databases out there, and your student can get access to some of these sites by going to their counselors, coming to the University Career Center. We can give different names of pages worth. More and more are popping up constantly. It's also important for students to go back to the actual company websites and follow the companies on social media. Many of them are deploying new jobs through LinkedIn, through Twitter, so they really need to be doing all of these things. As I mentioned, their very first stop should be Stags for Hire. All of our students have been set up with accounts. It's simply a question of going in and claiming their account and beginning to learn the system and navigate. The students I've spoken to have said it's very intuitive and quite simple to navigate. So I encourage you to tell them to use it. I will say that occasionally I get phone calls from various people saying that their child or a family member has told them that they've logged on millions of times, literally, not millions, but maybe hundreds, and they've come up with little to no success. Then I go into the system and they really haven't been going in as fervently as perhaps they suggested. It's important for you to have a very open and honest dialogue with your student about the resources that are available. So once again, why network? Employers typically will hire through referrals. They do this because they get literally hundreds of applications. And if they know someone and they know they're a good worker, they're trustworthy, they probably figure they can trust their opinion when it comes to someone else's work ethic. So if you can take that person, that referral, it makes their life that much simpler. So that's why it's very important to optimize any opportunity possible. It's also important for the students to understand that they need to dress for success. They need to up their game. It's important for them to have a full business suit, a nice blazer, dress pants, Ladies, you can wear slacks, skirts, whatnot, but something professional, something that you would actually wear to an interview, so that on any moment's notice, the student can go on an interview or perhaps go to a networking event and look their best. Business casual is another area that's important that perhaps you could encourage. Dressing up so that, nice slacks, nice dress pants, nice blouse. Men, nice ironed shirt, nice slacks. All of these things contribute to how a person is perceived, the impression that you're giving off, and whether or not you're in it to be successful or just going through the routine. It's amazing how many of the first-year students haven't quite grasped this yet, and it's something that's important. I know that it seems as though people are a lot more casual these days in business settings, but we encourage the students to play it safe and be very modest and traditional when they're setting out until they get a feel for the environment that they're going to be working in. If your child or the child that you're taking care of is unable to come up with a suit quickly for an interview, the university has a career closet. We literally have hundreds of suits, blouses, shirts, even some shoes and ties that they can take advantage of. So it's just a matter of coming to the Career Center and asking if they can look around. We are growing the closet in a great way. And in fact, if you have some older clothes that are gently used that you would like to donate, we'd be more than happy to take them. Here are some of those sample databases that I was referring to. And they really cover a wide range of opportunities, different industries. Dice.com is more technical. Media Bistro is more for communications. Liquid Compass, nursing. Of course, we all know Indeed and LinkedIn. So encourage these websites. The best way to figure out what you like and don't like is to read a lot of the job descriptions even. This is going to help move them into the right direction. Other strategies they can take advantage of. The career and internship fairs, we have those in February and September. We just had one last week. Nursing fair, which is held in October. And then we always post when local fairs are taking place or other fairs in the region so that they can take advantage of those. People should be following at Fairfield U Careers because we send out information about different opportunities and other types of events such as Stags in the Field, Stags in the City, speakers that take place in all the different schools and all of the different disciplines, and of course, all the opportunities on Life at Fairfield. We really want to encourage live conversation. We want your student to engage in speaking with people so that when the time comes and they're actually in a situation where they can present themselves, they're comfortable, they're poised, and they're able to really articulate what their strengths are, and someone will want them in their organization. So let's just say they did what they were supposed to on Stags for Hire, and they got the phone call, they're getting an interview. They should be researching the company and the position as much as possible and not just on the main web page. Review the 50 most typical interview questions which are available to all the students. Go to any of the counselors and they can supply those. They should set up an appointment to meet with a counselor and possibly do a mock interview. And really put together some strong questions to ask the interviewer themselves while they're in that interview. So many students forget that one step, and it often can turn a very positive interview into one that turns into a rejection. So we don't want that to happen. As I said, we encourage a mock interview, and they can be done anywhere on campus with any of the counselors. We encourage the use of interview stream, which can be used 24/7. Students can go in and pull from preloaded interviews and record themselves, then play back so they can see what they looked like, how they sounded, how they might want to change some of their characteristics. Maybe they're spinning their hair or doing some of those things that could be unnerving. So it's another great resource Fairfield offers. Once again, come up with interview questions and tell them they should be printing several copies of their resume on resume paper for the actual interview. Resumes can be printed in the Career Center, once located over in the Kelly Center, so that they're equipped with those as well. They do a bang-up job. They get that internship. It's important that they understand that they need to dress appropriately at all times. Something as simple as having a sundress and just putting a little sweater over it so that you're not exposing a lot of skin goes a long way. Having nice, sharp, nice pressed shirts for the guys, it creates an image that they're there, they're serious, they take care in the way they look and present themselves. They should be encouraged to pay attention at all times. Turn off the cell phone. Don't listen to the headphones. Don't check Facebook. If they're doing other things and the internship coordinator or boss comes in and sees that they're always looking at other things or focused on other topics, that is going to set a really bad example of what their work is like typically, and they're probably going to walk away thinking, ugh, this was not a good fit. Also encourage your student to mingle with other people. I had mentioned that they should be networking as much as possible. Tell them not to spend all their lunches with the other interns. Try to find a way to have lunch with other alumni, have lunch with people from other departments so that they can find out a little bit about those, what they do, but also start building that web for their future networking. They should always use their time wisely and meet deadlines. Always look for other work to do. Don't just sit there, okay, my work's done, I'm just going to sit and wait till somebody comes up to me. They should be proactive, looking for something, the next project that they can do to be an asset to the organization. So at the conclusion of the internship, they should be sending thank you notes to everyone that worked with them, their supervisor, anyone they connected with, anyone that helped them throughout the whole summer or the semester, if it's during the semester itself. You want to let people know that they valued the experience and also that you want to keep connected. Encourage them to periodically go back and check in on people. If it's the holidays, maybe stop by when they're home, see how everyone's doing, send some kind of holiday greeting, make cookies, whatnot. This is one way for the people to keep your student in the back of their heads as someone, oh, I remember that person. He was the funny kid. Or, oh, she was always so thoughtful. These are the little touches that make a difference, in addition, of course, to being a solid worker. Now, the do's and don'ts for you. Please don't write the resume or the cover letter for your student. They need to learn how to do these things themselves. You can help them and guide them, but they really should be coming and meeting with a counselor, but doing these things on their own first, and then continuing that conversation with the counselor. Don't make phone calls on behalf of your student to Fairfield or to the recruiters themselves. It needs to be your child advocating for themselves. Apply to internships for them. This every year someone calls trying to figure out how to get into someone's account. This is just not something that we encourage. And please don't come to career fairs with them either. It doesn't look good for the applicant. It doesn't make them look like strong candidates. And of course, this has never happened at Fairfield, but it has happened out there where a parent or two has shown up to an interview with the student or even for the student. Last but not least, Fairfield is going to equip your student to look for a job, how to succeed in a job, and really how to find a job. And it's important for them to be left to do these things. Maybe they do make mistakes in the beginning, but they're all learning experiences. We are not going to find a job and just hand it over. Those were days 40, 50 years ago, really. We understand everyone's very busy, but they need to be doing these things. Now the things you can be doing, okay, is advise them to come to their career center and come with regularity, not just write the cover letter and the resume sophomore year and then never come back. You should be doing this regularly. If you find out that there are internships or job positions available, share them with your student. Maybe it's not your child that is going to be taking advantage of it, but maybe they can share it with their friends, people they know in their classes. Talk to your student about professionalism and how to conduct themselves properly in the workplace. Practice interviewing with them. That's something that, you know, everyone needs that kind of experience, and, you know, practice constantly, no matter what your age is. So it's probably even would be helpful for you, keep you on your game. Most importantly, offer them support, because this is a very frustrating period. It's stressful. It's stressful for you, and it's probably 10 times more stressful for your student. So just be aware of that. But as I said, most of all, don't forget that this is a learning process, which will help to teach your child how to look for jobs in the future, well past their Fairfield years. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to questions if there are any.
Great, thanks, Kath. So we have a couple questions already, but I would also encourage folks that if you want Kath to answer any questions live during the webinar, if you could type them into the comments section on YouTube or email us at engagement@fairfield.edu. We'll start with the ones that we have, though. So, Kath, can you talk a little bit more about the career peer advisor position and how students could apply to be a career peer advisor?
Sure. We put a call out every spring for career peer advisors, and students are actually interested and seem to have a knack and want to help their fellow students apply. and we have interviews. And once people are selected, we have training for them. We go over what the expectations are, what we look for. We try to get students across all the disciplines, but that's not always possible. Students come and they come to the Kelly Center and will be available during blocks of times that they volunteer for so that students can stop in and really start building the foundation of what should be a very strong resume by the time they graduate. Students have really enjoyed being CPAs, that's what we call them. And some have gone on to actually have found great jobs in human resources. So it's kind of nice. It helped them in many ways, and it helped their fellow students.
Great, thanks. So we do have a question about resume and cover letters. Are there templates available for students either through your office, or do you have any standard ones online that you recommend?
We discourage templates per se, and really discourage templates that are out there on the web, because those are difficult to modify down the road. We strongly suggest you use a blank Word document to start and continue the whole resume writing process. We do have samples in all the different schools that students can take advantage of. We have samples in the University Career Center in the Kelly Center. And we are in the process of building out a site where we will have everything online as well. But students right now can contact pretty much anybody in any of those centers, and we can get them to the students.
Great. Our next question is about thank yous. So is email the right form for thank you notes, or do you suggest handwritten thank you notes, both for after an interview and throughout the internship process?
That's a great question. We strongly suggest for interviews that you get the business card of everyone that you've spoken with, and not too long after the interview, you send out an email thanking each person in a personalized email, thanking them for the time, telling them how much they enjoyed meeting with the recruiter, and what it is that they particularly enjoyed about meeting them, or what they've learned, and their interest in continuing the whole process. We also suggest that afterwards you send a note, a handwritten note. Some industries make their selections right after the initial interviews. So that's why we want them to get that interview or the email out immediately. But some take a little longer. And this way, if there's a borderline, they're not quite sure, perhaps the handwritten note received a couple of days later will put their name front and center and a reminder that they're interested. Now, for internships thanking people, I really think the old-fashioned note goes a long way, because nobody does it anymore, and it makes it more unique. So taking a few minutes out of your day just to sit and write something in very nice handwriting is kind of a nice gesture.
Great. And how can students find out the information that you shared in the webinar today?
Well, people are more than welcome to contact me at cborgman@fairfield.edu, or, as I said, contact their career counselor in each of the schools.
Great, thank you. So we are putting that email address into the comment section of YouTube so that you have her email address easily accessible. I would also like to mention that you can feel free to share the link to this webinar with your student if you would like. After we do the live version, we then save it, and it's accessible at the same exact link, so that should be available later today. That was our last question for now. If anyone else has anything, feel free to email either engagement@fairfield.edu and we will send it to the appropriate folks. Or if you want to email Kath, who we would like to thank for hosting our webinar today, you can feel free to do that. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.